Hey guys, my name is Shai and this is Evermind Astro. This video is about Jupiter in Virgo, which is kind of weird. Does anybody else think this is a weird fit, a weird mix? I feel like Jupiter and Virgo, the energies are so opposite. I'm really curious to see like what I pick up on here because it gives me a weird feeling of tension. But I don't mean to say that this is bad. That's not at all what I mean. I mean that you guys probably have some kind of special secret of the universe going on here because you're blending these two energies. The Jupiter energy of expansion and multiplication and growth and attraction, right? With the Virgo energy, which is standing apart, holding yourself apart, saying no to things, setting boundaries, right? Holding yourself above the swing of the pendulum, right? Those hermetic principles, the hermit card in the tarot, all of those things. And I mean, Virgo kind of gets a bad rap sometimes because it can be really hypercritical in its lower frequencies, right? It can get fixated on pointing out things that are wrong. But that's part of how the beauty of Virgo is actually this creation magic. The Virgo in its really most beautiful, highest frequency state is about stitching the world together. Like Virgo is literally the energy that holds all of reality, all of creation together, because without Virgo, everything would just be quantum dust and everything would just be lost to the winds, right? And there would really be nothing because Virgo is what creates things, what stitches things together, what parses things apart and then puts them together into things that make sense, things that can be, right? So of course, you could say with Jupiter in Virgo that Jupiter is in exile here because Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces, opposite of Virgo, right? When I tend to think Pisces, I tend to think Neptune. I really like the modern rulers, but there is still a place to be said or a place to be had and much to be said about Jupiter being that Pisces energy, right? And that's the softer side of Jupiter. That is the more watery, the more peaceful. It's like more slowly moving, slow moving, creative, feminine, cosmic ocean type of vibes, right? And Virgo, on the other hand, is the rock that holds itself apart from all of this. So what do we make of this, right? What do we get when we put Jupiter in Virgo? I think the way I'm feeling this is that you guys are probably going to have some kind of theme throughout your life of feeling like that push-pull between expansion. And you guys are probably learning a lot of lessons about this, about when to expand, about how to expand, and then possibly encountering a lot of obstacles. Possibly some of your guys' obstacles are internal, they're in your own mind, because Virgo can really, even though it's earth sign, right, it's like minded earth energy, and it can, to a certain extent, rule your thoughts, right? So a lot of those limitations can be in your own mind. And there's this push-pull effect of like wanting to expand and then wanting to contract, and then wanting to expand and then wanting to contract. It's a little bit of weirdness here, okay? It is a little bit of weirdness. However, can you find the sweet spot here? Can you find the magic of this placement? Can you find the magic of this placement? It is almost like controlled expansion, planned expansion. And I think with this placement with Jupiter in Virgo, you could actually avoid some of the pitfalls of Jupiter, because Jupiter can really make you go too big too fast. It can make you go too far. It can make you bite off more than you can chew. It can make you take really big risks. It can make you gain a lot of weight because you're eating. It can make you, have risky behavior, all stuff like that. But with it in Virgo, a lot of that could really be moderated, but you could have more like planned expansion and knowing what to say no to, but not at the same time. This is also, I feel like the Jupiter is moderating the Virgo tendencies, because of Virgo, when Virgo becomes out of control, or when it becomes like really controlling, right? When Virgo becomes really controlling, then you can end up really shriveling. You can end up saying no to the whole world, and you can end up just completely collapsing in on yourself and kind of shriveling and like refusing to participate in life, right? Just by shriveling and being afraid of participating in the world, because you can be like afraid of contamination and stuff like that. So that's where the beauty of this blending of the energies here comes in, because you have Virgo kind of tempering some of the more out of control, expansive energies of Jupiter, and you have Jupiter tempering some of the more nitpicky and contracting and just kind of really negative nastiness of low frequency Virgo. And I think if you guys are really enjoying this placement, if this is working for you, then you could really like understand something here that everybody else is struggling with, right? I feel like so many humans, right? We do too much, and then we're like in this back and forth, right? This back and forth, and it's like, how do we find that sweet spot, right? How do we find that sweet spot? With you guys, if you're really harnessing the power of this placement, you could be living that sweet spot, right? Living the sweet spot of knowing when to have fun, knowing when to stay home and be responsible, right? Knowing when to try a bunch of new things and allow yourself to enjoy the beauty of this earth, right? But then also knowing when to say no to things, when to set your boundaries, and when to tend to your own energy. Sorry, I had to close the window, setting that boundary, right? Knowing when to shut out the world and when to allow the world to come in, right? And I do think there is a lot to be said here about your creativity, right? Your creativity, your creative projects. Obviously not all of you are going to be creative, right? But some of you really will be. Some of you could have really like profound attention to detail, but there's like an artistic potential here, because the Jupiter end, right? The Pisces energy with the Pisces energy wrapped up in Jupiter, right? Is this creative potential to really just appreciate beauty and to want to create beauty and want to fill your life up with beauty. And then the Virgo tendency there can go really well with this, because Virgo is that attention to detail, which makes things really precise and really polished, right? People who are artistic and also have strong Virgo placements, they tend to be very meticulous, very meticulous, and have a really strong attention to detail, and makes everything so precise and so nice. It's like, the difference between writing a draft of a story, right, and then having, editing it a bunch of times and then going over it with a professional copy editor and getting everything like perfect, right? So sometimes we can get caught up in the Pisces side where you're just generating constant creative content, and it can be kind of messy. It can all be kind of unfinished, right? And then on the Virgo side, you can kind of edit yourself out of existence, or you can be perfectionistic until you don't actually do anything. But with this energy, if you're blending this together here, you could really actually be creatively productive and fill your life up with beautiful things that you have created or acquired and curated. And you could also have that attention to detail that makes everything so nice, so put together, so polished, right? So good. And man, with your intellectual endeavors and your spiritual journey, there's really, I could say a lot, but this is like, follow this on the same theme, right? It is the blending of these two opposite energies, meaning that like with your spirituality, for example, you're probably willing to explore a lot of different concepts and just kind of go out there and see what's out there. And then you have this really healthy skepticism where you're not just going to buy into whatever people are saying on the internet, and you're not going to like just, go whole hog into any of this. You're going to be kind of picky and choosy. It's this feeling of, I'm willing to look into anything. I'm willing to kind of take in all of these different things, or willing to just kind of see what they're about and just, see what's out there. But then I'm not going to commit unless it's really what's for me, or I'm not going to buy into that unless I have, really understood it and really decided that seems like a good thing for me, that seems like it's correct, right? Which is that the Virgo thinking, right? You want to know what is correct, you want to know what is true, you want to know what is real, you want to know what is supported, you want to know what makes sense, right? So it's really interesting vibe here. So of course, I've been focusing on when you have both of these energies harmonizing within you, right? You could absolutely throughout your life find yourself going like one way and then the other way and having this push pull push pull push pull push pull back and forth back and forth. But I would say just remember that if you are doing that back and forth back and forth back and forth back and forth, that is part of your process of coming into that place of inner harmony, of inner balance, and of actually balancing this energies. There's a little bit of a similarity here to having like your nodes in either, you know, in Pisces and Virgo, whichever way, right? Either way, having your nodes in Pisces and Virgo, or if you were to have like Pisces Sun, Virgo Moon, right? Balancing out that energy. This is this type of thing, right? You're balancing out these opposite energies, and that can mean that you can flip-flop a little bit on your journey to finding the harmony here. But when you find the harmony here, you're really unlocking something special and unique that honestly most people don't have. So really interesting placement. And I'm going to leave that one at that. So check all my links down below. Sign up for my accelerated evolution container. I am doing full moon and new moon videos going into a deep dive of what those mean for our consciousness and our evolution. Readings are about half an hour to 45 minutes every full moon and new moon. It's $8 a month for that. There's a link down below. I have another channel. I have a website. I have an Etsy shop. I have a newsletter, all that stuff. Private readings available on my website and on Etsy. Check me out. I'll see you guys later. Bye.